Hello everybody, my name is Yohan, and welcome back to my channel, YoFrex. Today, I'll be talking about the infamous Dior Homme Parfum 2025. Now, right off the bat, I know this is probably the most disliked fragrance from this past year. It's gotten so much hate. It's gotten just, and honestly, I will say, I think it's uncalled hate. Of course, if you have not tried the original Dior Homme Parfum, and you've only come into the expectation and, not expectation, you've only come into this open-minded, right? Just a new Dior release. I think a lot of people coming from that side were very pleased. You know, it's like you can't really go wrong. It smells nice, I'll say right off the bat. Having owned the original formulation for Dior Homme Parfum, also the 2020 version, and then also for Dior Homme Intense, I had the 2014 version, and then I also have a 2020 version. It is wildly different, all right? There's no getting around it. There's no sugarcoating it. If you are expecting Dior Homme Parfum, the original DNA, you will be very disappointed. But with that being said, and I'm gonna get smartered for this, I like this one better. Now let me explain myself. I like the new design, you know. I like the silver plaque. I'm just a sucker for silver, you know. But I honestly think it's much more wearable, and it kind of smells nicer. Now, that being said, do I think it's more creative? No. Do I think it's more like a better quality, naturals and whatnot? No, I do not. But overall, I think this is just a very nice, really good smelling cologne. Presentation is, you know, pretty standard from what we were to expect from most designers now. You know, got the batch code and whatnot. Just cardboard again. But, you know, people say this smells generic, this smells bad, this smells like basic. But I disagree. And honestly, I feel that the people who write these nasty reviews on Fragrantica and online, you know, I honestly think they are following the hate train 100%. And don't get me wrong, I was disappointed when I was comparing it to the original Dior Homme Parfum. But after just being more open-minded and, you know, really just forgetting altogether about that scent and focusing solely on what this one smells like and how it makes me feel and, you know, my experience wearing it, it was very nice. Like, you still get that irisy lipstick in the opening, much less intense compared to, you know, the original or even Dior Homme Intense, like the 2020 batch, which is the one I currently have. I got rid of a lot of my older batches just because they were just collecting dust and I knew I wouldn't use them. I either gifted them away or I sold them. But I think this is a super up-to-date, modern, perfect fall winter fragrance. Yeah, like I said, you have a little bit of that iris lipstickiness in the opening, but it's definitely sweeter. Definitely not as heavy on the musks, but still long lasting, projects very nicely. Definitely not as beastly as the originals, and even honestly the 2020 Dior Homme Intense, definitely not the same longevity wise. But the scent, I love it. It's just a warm, woody, ambery, irisy, dare I say, masterpiece of a fragrance. I think it smells so nice. It's got a nice chocolatey, kind of woody dry down. Not too subtle, not too gourmand, but just all around, like, I just enjoyed wearing this. my whole experience, the reactions I got from people around me, my wife, they love this. And honestly, when I wore Dior Homme Parfum, the original, and then also the 2020 version and 2014 version, it was very hit or miss. And most of the time, I just couldn't find a situation to wear it in. Even Dior Homme Intense, I think it's too lipsticky forward in the 2020 version. And it's not that that's a bad smell or whatnot. I personally love that smell. But I'm going to be honest. My wife doesn't like that smell. A lot of her friends don't like that smell. And I think a lot of the non-fragrance collectors, so the mass majority, don't like that smell. Not saying that that's what makes a fragrance good, that's what makes a fragrance valid. I'm not saying that at all. But just because something is quote unquote basic or not, it's a new take, or it's not the original, it's a beloved fragrance for the collectors and the enthusiasts, just because this is not what that is doesn't mean it's bad. This was clearly targeted towards the mass appealing, audience, the mass non-fragrance enthusiasts who just want like, oh, let me get a Dior that's really nice in the fall and winter. Just a heavier scent, still light and airy, but nothing too crazy, right? And that's exactly, the target audience. But me as, being a fragrance enthusiast, I think people are giving this a lot of unjustified hate. Yes, it is not the original. Yes, it is wildly different. And yes, honestly, they should not have named it Dior Homme Parfum. I think if it was marketed different, a new line or a new flanker to, maybe not even the parfum, just like a new flanker like Dior Homme Absolute or something, I think that would have been more accepted. And I think the reactions people would have got would have been less critical. But is it a good scent? Yes. Is it a nice, approachable, airy, lovely, chocolatey, warm, ambery, slight iris, but more like not lipsticky iris, just for like the first couple minutes, maybe you get that. Is that what this is? 100%. And it smells great. Like, oh, yeah. It's like that lipsticky iris meets like some chocolate and amber. And that's a great smell. Like, I love this thing. I will say. But given all this praise that I've been giving this, I do think it's overpriced. Again, I don't think the quality is the same. I think, this being, I think, what was it, like 180 something bucks for 2.5 ounces. It's kind of definitely not worth it, honestly. I mean, yeah, being honest, the 75 mil retails like, yeah, 189 before taxes. That's honestly gross. I think that's vastly overpriced. But you can get this on like discounters like Fragrance Scent and that bunch for like 160, and relative, so with taxes and all that, you'll probably be getting like 170, 168ish. Where I got this bottle, I got it from a friend of mine who lives in the area, and he was also a known fragrance seller and collector. I got this bottle for $105, and it's basically 98% full. For $100, I think this is a gem. If this retailed like 75 mil for like $120, I think this would be so worth it. But it isn't. And a lot of these designer fragrances are just getting more and more expensive. Is it worth it? Are those scents worth it? No, I don't think those retail are worth it. I think they are just, obviously they have a brand, they have a name, and we're paying for that reputation. But if this was priced at around $100 USD, I think this would be so worth it. I personally love it. I've been wearing it so much this fall winter season, as winter's coming up. I've been loving it. And honestly, yeah, unjustified hate, guys. You know, give it a shot. It is quote unquote basic, but honestly, I do think it's still rather unique for designers. It has that irisiness, that lipstickiness tad, but then just gets sweeter and woody and soft and ambery. And I think that's great. I think it's honestly my favorite designer release in 2025. And yeah, I'll take all the hate, you know. You know, that's obviously just my opinion. What I say is not fact or truth. It's purely just my opinion and my experience with this bottle and with this fragrance. Well, I'll end it there. Thank you so much for joining me today. Stay safe. Have a good rest of your day. God bless.